Today, we are going to read the 10th Standard English Book, Chapter 3 Prose. Empowered Woman Navigating the World. Introduction. Gone are the days where women in India remained indoors unless permitted to go out with an escort. Conditions today have changed, thanks to all those women who have fought for their freedom and set a very good example for others. The real power of women, though realized earlier, is currently being projected to the world by the advancement of technology and media. Women occupy almost all the major positions in society. Currently, women's accomplishments are tremendous in many fields. One such achievement is the all-women Indian Navy crew who circumnavigated the world for 254 days all alone, in a sailboat called INSV Tharani. What is INSV Tharani? INSV stands for Indian Naval Ship Vessel. Taratharani is the patron deity for sailors, and is worshipped for safety and success at sea. INSV Tharani is the second sailboat of the Indian Navy, the first being the INSV Madhai. It is a 55-foot sailing vessel built indigenously in India by M/S Aquarius Shipyard Private Ltd, located in Goa. After undergoing extensive sea trials, she was commissioned to the Indian Navy Service on February 18, 2017. The boat was named after the famous Taratharani temple in Ganjam district of Odisha. The word Tharani means boat, and in Sanskrit it means savior. INSV Tharani has advanced raymarine navigation suite and an array of satellite communication systems for perfect navigation anywhere in world. Navika Sagar Parikrama was a project undertaken in consonance with the national policy to empower women to attain their full potential. The project is considered essential towards promoting ocean sailing activities in the Navy, while depicting Government of India's thrust for Nari Shakti, women power, said Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Sunil Lanba in his welcome speech. The voyage was aimed to showcase Make in India initiative by sailing on board indigenously built INSV Tharani. The special feature of this sailboat is that it encouraged use of environment-friendly non-conventional renewable energy resources, such as the wind, collected and updated meteorological, ocean, and wave data on regular basis for accurate weather forecast by India Meteorological Department, IMD, and also collected data for monitoring marine pollution on high seas. Indian Navy's 6-women crew. Indian Navy's all-women crew was the first ever to circumnavigate the globe, skippered by Lieutenant Commander Vertika Joshi. The all-women team has also Lieutenant Commander Pratap Jungval, Lieutenant Commander Svati Patarpalli, Lieutenant Aishwarya Bhattapati, Lieutenant S.H. Vijaya Devi, and Lieutenant Payal Gupta as its crew members. The crew started their voyage on September 10, 2017 from Goa, flagged off by the Defence Minister of India. It was a historic day, which would be marked in navigation history and globally. It covered the expedition in 5 legs with stopovers at 4 ports: Fremantle, Australia; Lyttelton, New Zealand; Port Stanley, the Falklands, and Cape Town, South Africa, for replenishment of ration and repair as necessary, before returning to Goa in April 2018. They went around the globe within 254 days and reached Goa port on May 21, 2018. The 6-member women crew broke many stereotypes during their record-setting sail. Do you know? The first Indian solo circumnavigation was undertaken by Captain Dilip Dandi, SC, retired. From August 19, 2009 to May 19, 2010 on board another India-built vessel INSV Madhya. The first Indian non-stop solo circumnavigation was undertaken by Commander Abhilash Tomi, KC from November 1, 2012 to March 31, 2013. An interview with the crew members. India's all-women Navy crew who went around the world in 254 days have shared their experiences about their great voyage in an interview. Through their personal experiences, we really come to know their hardships and unpredictable challenges they have faced all through their expeditions. Interviewer: how well were you acquainted with the sailboat before you took up the task? Vertika Joshi: none of us was acquainted with a sailboat or ocean-going boat. None of us had sailed before, nor are woman officers allowed entry in combat platforms as yet. At first, it was difficult to take the boat out to sea, from one point to another. But we slowly built upon it through 3 years of training. Interviewer: can you tell us about the training you had undergone before this expedition? Vertika Joshi: we started with some theoretical courses on navigation, communication, and weather prediction. Classroom courses are different from sailing outside. So, we were given hands-on training, like how to repair things and how to deal with emergencies when the weather gets rough, if there is a medical emergency, and training was needed in tactical aspects as well. Aishwarya: we underwent our basic sail training courses in Mumbai at the Indian Naval Watermanship Training Center, INWTC, and at various schools in the Southern Naval Base in Kochi. We even sailed on INSV Madhya to Mauritius in 2016 and 2017, and back, and also to Cape Town in December 2016. We were trained for almost 3 years to prepare for the voyage. Since the boat was old, it had minor leaks and repairs. Also, we ran out of water and food soon. So the trip was a tutorial for us on how to manage food, water, and even electricity during the big voyage. Interviewer: what was the selection process? Aishwarya: out of the 30 women who had applied, 6 of us were shortlisted, based on the little survival skills we showcased. The crew was mentored by Commander Dilip Dandi. But after I was told about the flare-ups at sea, I even had second thoughts about joining the team. Interviewer: how did your family members react when you told them about this expedition? Vertika Joshi: our families did have a hard time, but that was because most of them had never even seen the sea. 4 of us are from the mountains. The first time my parents saw the ocean was when I invited them to visit. But once they saw that we're doing well and looking after ourselves, they were quite supportive. They were apprehensive and supportive too. Interviewer: what were your aims and how did you work to achieve them? Vertika Joshi: I wanted to make sure that I complete this journey with ultimate honesty. I didn't set out for a destination. It was the journey that mattered to me the most. So my contention was to make sure that we go by the rules of circumnavigation, which say that you don't have to use any auxiliary means of repulsion, and you don't have to take anybody else's assistance. I grasped that completely. Interviewer: name that one quality of yours that enabled you to complete this expedition successfully. Vertika Joshi: whenever the winds dropped, it wouldn't have taken me even a fraction of a second to switch on the engine and say let's go 1 mile ahead. But inside of me something poked me and said that you have to be honest with yourself, and this expedition has to be done with honesty. I am glad that we were able to finish it successfully without the use of the engine at all. Interviewer: as the head of the crew, how did you involve the team? Vertika Joshi: we've all sailed and trained the same amount, and everybody has their own way of dealing with situations, but that was a good thing, because we could discuss different ways of solving a problem and choose the best one. In fact, I'd say it was easier for us to collaborate and work together. Payal Gupta: when you are out at sea, teamwork is the most important in the middle of the crisis. Even during the storm, when 3 people would be out on watch, the other 3 who would be inside wouldn't be able to rest. Somebody would heat the water, the other person would heat the gloves because it was raining also. So team effort actually helped in navigating through the 20 hours long storm. I feel that if I had been alone, then it would have been a nightmare to deal with the challenges that the sea throws at you. Interviewer: share your experience about the most challenging task while sailing. Vertika Joshi: the sea can get really tough when winds are picking up. Those are the times we have to be active and need to anticipate what could be there ahead. In the South Pacific, we encountered a storm where the seas were almost 9 to 10 meters high, and the winds were picking up to 60 to 70 knots, a unit of speed equal to 1 nautical mile per hour, exactly 1.852 kilometers per hour, which is about a hurricane force of wind on land. It is normal on sea where there is hardly any land mass to stop the winds. Interviewer: how adventurous was your trip? Vertika Joshi: when we were crossing the Tasman Sea, we witnessed the brilliant southern lights from sea. It was rare to watch that in those months, that too from sea. We were absolutely awestruck as we were not expecting it, to see the entire sky lit up in green light. There was bioluminescence, dolphins swimming in the wake of the boat like our neighbors, and a variety of sea creatures. We spotted a dead sperm whale once, and we thought it was an island from a distance, it was so huge. We are not specialists, so whenever we spotted something in the sea, we had to Google it to learn more about the species. Interviewer: how did your crew spend time deep in the sea? Svati P: during circumnavigation, we picked up some hobbies and kept posting pictures of delicacies like golgappas and cakes. We also read books when the weather was pleasant and did some quilling and craft work. While team leader Joshi read comics and the Ramayana during her journey, I loved cooking as well, so I indulged in baking. I also liked crafting a lot, so I used to make lampshades. I love it when people appreciate the food that I cook, so I gave my crew members the best dishes that was possible on land with the limited resources that we had on the boat. Vertika Joshi, 6 is a great number. We were always entertained. We watched movies, listened to music, and you won't believe some of the goodies the crew rustled up in our tiny pantry, even while sailing in rough seas. We made parathas, baked cakes and breads, and even made halwa and rasgullas. We celebrated festivals at sea. When we think about it now on land, we remember the Diwali we spent at sea. We celebrated 3 birthdays, including the first birthday of the boat, also specific occasions like crossing the equator, the international date line, and such. Interviewer: what motivated you to fulfill the country's expectations? Slutty P: we knew that the entire country was watching us and praying for us, so we never wanted them to have a single day thinking that we are in trouble. We knew that it is going to happen, but the people out there did not know what kind of challenges we were facing. So, one of the motives that we kept in mind was that we did not want to frighten them. We decided that once the circumnavigating was over, we are going to show what we have actually gone through. Interviewer: as a woman, how would you consider this expedition? Vertika Joshi: it is a matter of great honor, and we couldn't have imagined anything better for our cast-off. Of course, we being an all-woman team, it is a great boost to women in the country. But, as we are going as sailors, and we as sailors have seen that the sea does not discriminate between genders. It is always gender neutral, and we have realized that gender does not play a role in sailing. But to boost the morale in the country, and for more 10th English_book.int 6426-02-2019 16 hours 24 minutes and 17 seconds www.tntextbooks.in 65 women to take in adventures like sailing. I feel it is great that an all-woman team had been formed to undergo this expedition. Glossary: circumnavigate, verb. To travel all the way around something, especially the earth. Indigenously, adverb. Naturally, innately, inherently. Consonants, noun. Agreement or compatibility between opinions or actions. Skippered, verb. To act as a master or captain of a vessel, especially a small boat. Expedition, noun. A journey or voyage made for some specific purpose, such as of war or exploration. Replenishment, noun. Restoration of a stock or supply to a former level or condition. Apprehensive, adj. Anxious or fearful that something bad or unpleasant will happen. Contention, noun. Strenuous effort, struggling together in opposition. Auxiliary, adjective. Additional, used as a reserve or substitute in case of need. Anticipate, verb. To foresee, to realize beforehand, to expect, be sure of. Bio. Luminescence, noun. The production of light by living organisms. Golgappas, noun. The other term for pani puri. Morale, noun. Emotional or mental condition with respect to confidence, especially in the face of hardships. True or false, then fill the answer. Read the statements given below and state whether they are true or false. If false, then write the correct answer in the space given. 1. Indian Navy's all-women crew was the first ever to circumnavigate the globe. 2. The crew consists of 6 members of men and women Indian Navy service. 3. Vartika Joshi skippered the crew to circumnavigate the globe. 4. The crew started their expedition on July 10, 2017 from Mumbai. 5. Dilip Dandi was the first person to go on a non-stop solo circumnavigation. Vocabulary idioms. Idioms and phrases. Idioms are groups of words put together as a unit with a particular meaning. The meaning of the word is not literal. For example, if one says that the cat is out of the bag, then it does not literally mean the cat is out of the bag, but it has a figurative meaning which means the secret is out. That's why the meaning of idioms cannot be assumed based on the individual meaning of the words, but by studying the words as a unit. Examples. 1. Lalitha takes a late-night walk in the beach once in a blue moon. In the above sentence, once in a blue moon is an idiom, which means an event that happens rarely. 2. The women cricketers were on the ball in their last over of the match. In the above sentence, on the ball is an idiom, which means when someone understands the situations well. Vocabulary phrases. A phrase, on the other hand, is a small group of words put together as a conceptual unit. It does not take a figurative meaning. The meaning of the word is literal. It can be long or short, but it does not include the subject-verb pairing, necessary to make a clause. For example, looking stunning, to live and breathe, comfortable bed. Example 1. Next week, Prasantha's plan to visit the countryside. In the above sentence, to visit the countryside is a phrase with the conceptual meaning of going on a visit to the countryside. 2. The child hid under the stairs when the mother called her for a bath. In the above sentence, under the stairs is a phrase. A phrasal verb is an idiomatic phrase consisting of a verb and another element, typically an adverb or a preposition, or both, the meaning of which is different from the meaning of its separate parts. For example, see to, or a combination of both, such as look down on. Example 1. The crew ran out of water and food before they could complete their expedition. In the above sentence, ran out is a phrasal verb which means to use completely. 2. The police personnel instructed the mob to go away from the place during the strike. In the above sentence, go away is a phrasal verb which means to leave from the place. Students, that's all today reading session. We will see you in our next video. Thank you.